So I'm pretty proud of myself for that. So baby steps.
Very good. JJ?
I did all right. I had a couple of bad food days that knocked me off, but overall, I'm doing good with exercise and water, and I don't know, looking forward to having a good food week. So
Awesome. Well, I know the key is consistency with us. If you know, even like you kind of fall off and then you get back on, you can still see some changes in the scale and your measurements even by doing that. But the more consistent you are, definitely, that's when Shiloh and Katie and I really took the weight off, is when we were very, very, very consistent with eating and drinking and working out every single day. Exactly. But it is super, super hard. And it's super hard right now, as I feel like, for me, there's so much time at home.
Yeah, baby.
That it's so easy just to grab something or whatever. And even though I'm not eating all that sugar, I'm replacing it sometimes with the wrong stuff too. So finding that balance is the key, right?
I think it's funny that you say that, because I guess me going to work every day, when I'm home on the weekends, I think I'm busy doing this, that, and the other, that a lot of times I just forget to eat. And then it's when I'm at work and I'm just sitting at my desk all day, and that's when I want to go grab something all the time, just to either be snacking on something at my desk, or that's where I really get my soda. It's like, okay, just something to keep my mind occupied or whatever. And so I find on the weekends, I'm like, oh, you know what? It's 2:30 and I haven't eaten anything all day yet.
Right. But then I think sometimes your body goes into like that starvation mode where it's like, you don't lose weight. You actually, it kind of like saves it up. You know what I mean? Like it saves up, and it's like, oh, you're not giving me what I want. And then you get back to eating, consistent again. And so you don't you hit that plateau and you get stuck there.
Oh, right.
And that's for me, like I've majorly hit a plateau, but mine has always been weekends. I'm the opposite, because school has always kept me so busy to where I had certain times of the day, and I think Katie's kind of the same way. She sets a timer for herself that she knows when that timer goes off, this is what I have to have, or this is when I have to eat, because she was teaching 24/7. So she was having hard-boiled eggs, weren't you? Like if the timer would go off, the kids would be like, oh, it's time for you to have your hard-boiled egg. Like they knew that it was coming. So, the kids start figuring out our schedule too, because mine would always be like, oh, look, you're having vegetables again. Is that all you eat is vegetables? I said, well, at this time, that's what I eat. But I always have that afternoon, like where I'm dragging. I hit that about 2 or 3, and that's what gets really hard. Oh my gosh, you just finished. Can y'all see this bowl? This is all pico.
Oh, man. It looks yummy.
It is the best. I mean, can you smell it? That's what we need, is to figure out a computer program now that you can smell stuff.
Smell-o-vision.
Yeah, right? Oh, God. Did you hear my husband? Don't say that. It's recording. We'll get in trouble again. All right. So one of the things that all of us have learned over this time is that writing out your plan for the week is super, super important. And I know I've learned to start with my dinners, because that's the one thing that I like to change up and not do the same every time. My husband complains all the time that I'm always bringing up new recipes and I don't repeat. But I'm like, oh, I saw this, I want to try it. And so I always start with what I'm having for dinner and figure out how many containers or whatever that takes up, and then move my way up and back to the morning breakfast. But for the most part, I eat the same thing for breakfast, for pretty much lunch, and my snack are pretty much all the same. The only thing I really mess with is my dinners. And I feel like that's about the same. Isn't that what you kind of do too, Katie? Is the same?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
So what's that same thing for lunch every day, girls?
I always pretty much have a salad with some kind of meat on it. So sometimes the meat is, Sometimes the meat is something that was left over from the night before. So like if I make chicken, then I cut up the chicken and put it in there. I love taking rotisserie chicken and taking it off the bone, and I'll put some in a container and put that on my salads, or I'll freeze it because it works great for like chicken tacos and burritos and all kinds of things like that. And it's that way you don't have to boil your own chicken. Tuna, I love the envelope tunas, which have, if you get the ones that have little flavors in it, honestly, that goes up a little bit for sodium and stuff. But to me, it's worth it because my calorie count for tuna is going to be way lower.
Yeah.
But I pretty much have that salad every single day. What about you, Katie?
I do a salad with meat on it. And sometimes at lunch, I do 2 proteins because I don't do a snack. Stacy does a snack. I can't make that happen in my life just because of schedule. So I'll do hard-boiled eggs with my salad. Or if I'm rushed, I might split my lunch in half and eat half of it at one point and half later, so it becomes a snack. But it's usually hard-boiled eggs and a salad with some sort of meat on it. And then I save my fruit for lunch. I know Stacey has her fruit at breakfast, but I usually eat most of my fruit at lunch. I don't like breakfast. So like right now I'm on a 16-8 fasting schedule, so I don't eat anything till noon.
So talk about that, Katie.
Because I'd be very interested to know how that's working out.
Well, on a bad day you eat less because there's less time to eat it. So that's one nice benefit to it, but I don't like breakfast. So I eat a bigger lunch right now. And some of this is because I'm home and so I can do this and it doesn't really matter. And then I do my shake in the late afternoon and then dinner. And we usually eat dinner a little later in the summer anyway. And so I'm eating at noon. I have my shake-ish around 4, and then we eat like we ate at 6:30 tonight only because I had Zoom. Otherwise, we probably would have ate at 7.
And
And it works pretty well.
You still try to get in all your, are you still doing the containers then?
Yes. So you're eating a lot more in those 2 meals than you would if you had breakfast.
And see, that's a problem I have with the containers at my weight.
Yeah, it's a ton of food.
I would be eating a shit ton of food between noon and 7.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
But during the school year, a lot of times I'll do more like 9 to 7-ish. So I'll take breakfast with me to work and eat it at work.
Just eat it later in the morning.
Yeah. I don't eat lunch till later usually. And so if I eat breakfast at like 6:30, I'm starving and I'm stupid eating snacks at 9:30.
Yep.
So if I wait and eat my breakfast late morning, I tend to not do that.
Okay.
And then Shiloh, what about you? Do you eat the same thing consistently for breakfast? I know for lunch, you kind of switch it up, don't you?
Yeah, I need things. If I get too bored, I can't stick with it. So I like to look at Pinterest a lot for different lunch ideas. Like, and so I've found like taco bowls where you make your taco meat ahead of time and do it over rice or even do it on a salad. Or if my salads, I like to really change up my salads too, if I do that. And then breakfast, I really was just sticking with my shake for breakfast and then trying to do some vegetables or fruit for my snacks and then fit in my dinner then, whatever I have left. So that's.
Well, and I found with school, the prepping on Sunday was way different than it is right now because we are home. So I'm able to just go make my lunch when I need to. So for me, prepping right now is more like maybe pre-cooking some things, but a lot of it's really just the planning and the grocery shopping. But when school goes on, you'll see like Katie has cute little containers that have all the sizes almost perfect for the containers for 21 Day Fix, and she fills those containers. I have containers and I take all my containers to school on Monday. So Monday I like cart a huge amount of food to school
now.
And everybody's like, holy cow. But then I shove it all in the fridge and it's already there. So then I'm not tempted to go eat something else. And I very rarely have money in my purse. So I don't go to the snack machines, and we don't really have enough time to go anywhere to eat from where, for being at school. But then the weekends, when things are a little bit more open and I don't pre-plan my weekends as much, that's when I get into trouble. Because especially in the evenings when I'm just sitting and there's that long period of time where you're really not supposed to be eating, that's hard for me because I don't go to bed as early and all of that. So, but I think just figuring out your time frame, and obviously that has to change because, during the school year, I am a breakfast person. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. So I look forward to having my eggs and my toast and my banana pancake or whatever. So I look forward to that, and I have that anywhere from 7 to right now, it's usually like 9 when I'm having breakfast. But then once I hit whatever time my breakfast is, then I'm eating again like 2 to 3 hours later. So my meals are all kind of spread out to be about 2 to 3 hours apart. So I never get that like I'm hangry feeling. During school in the afternoon, if I were to just have, instead of doing my shake, I did it for lunch instead. So I'd have like vegetables and a fruit for my afternoon snack, and it wasn't satisfying enough. And so then I was really struggling with getting home and getting to dinner because I still had meetings and stuff going on. So I really had to tweak where I needed that shake at, where I need more food at. And for me, I kind of need that towards the middle part of the day for me. I need to have that more food there to get my body kind of rolling again. So you kind of have to find what works best for you. But as you can see, all three of us kind of follow a different idea, and it all has to do kind of around those containers, which is really the platform for all of the Beachbody programs, some kind of or another. Some of them are a little bit different. They tweak it, like, what was it, 80-day obsession. They had timed eating, and so you ate 2 meals really close together at the beginning of the morning. Like I ate at 4, and then I ate again at like 7.
7. Mm.
And then there wasn't a lot of food towards the end of the day, which that honestly was the year I lost quite a bit of weight too. So that was one of my best programs. So it was almost like that fasting kind of thing that Katie was just talking about. It was very extreme foods at one period of the day and then hardly anything at the end. It was just a different way of fasting. So I'm not very good at fasting because as soon as I can't have a food, like I even did the church fast. That was about killer. I tried to do the full out thing and I can't handle it. It gets me too upset, but I did kind of do a timed eating, and then I cut out the sugars, which has not been as difficult, and I'm not craving those sugars as much anymore. I think you get past that feeling of I've got to have it.
Yeah.
But the one moment I get a piece of it, like if I have a piece of cake or an M&M or something, I fall hard. It's not like, oh, I had a little snack and I'm satisfied now. I'm like, oh, that was okay and nothing happened, so I should go and have more tomorrow, and then the next day, and then slowly it's a big cycle for me. So I have to be really, really careful for that. I did want to share, and Shiloh, I know you've seen these before. There are different brackets. So everybody can see my screen now, yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically you figure out what bracket you should be in and how much food you should be eating each day. And that has to do with your weight as well as your how active you are. Now we tend to all, even though we are active, we tend to push it to where we're not as active. So it's a little bit more extreme program because I've never got to that just like monitoring myself. I've never made it there. I've never been like, I'm satisfied for about a minute and then I slowly start having issues again. So But here's kind of the breakdown. You figure out how many containers you need, and then you figure out how to kind of spread it throughout your day. So this would be a typical day, not with the fasting like what Katie's doing, but more like eating at a pretty normal breakfast time. And then they often split and have 2 snacks in the morning. I've never been able to make that work with my schedule, nor even at home do I make it work. It just doesn't. By the time I eat at 9, I'm ready for lunch at noon. So I never have those snacks in there. But what I do is end up moving my fruit to my breakfast. So I have a pretty big breakfast and then a pretty normal size lunch. And then right now my snack is usually my Shakeology. So I move that down here where it says the almonds and the baby carrots. But you'll notice too, the thing with nuts, you don't get too many of those suckers. And that is the hardest thing too, is not to, 12 almonds, you're counting out 12 almonds, you feel like a goofball, like sitting there counting them. Or my favorite was, and this was from our coach that gave it to us, she would say, and a teaspoon of peanut butter. And she would have that as a dessert. Like, tonight you get 1 teaspoon of peanut butter. And I felt like a little dog, like licking off the teaspoon. I was so excited about my 1 little teaspoon of peanut butter. So what I normally did was I put those together, and I had 2 teaspoons in my shake instead of just having 1. And then I took it out somewhere else. So just figuring out what your containers are and figuring out how to break everything up. And then she often did, like, here's what we're going to have for our meals on Monday, but it's also going to be the same thing Thursday. So you're not trying to create an entire day of meals every single day. So when we first started this was overwhelming to think about trying to figure out our bracket for every single day and setting it all up. But once you kind of get the hang of it, like you just heard us say, a lot of times we kind of eat the same thing. It may be that Shiloh's messing with her lunch and changing what her lunch is, but she's still using the same containers, about the same containers. When you say, Shiloh, for lunch, you're like kind of sticking to those same containers. So, and when I figured this out for my husband, who was way at the top bracket, I really had to be creative in how to put those containers together, because it did give him a lot of food. However, he needs that. That's his one complaint with eating healthy, is a lot of these diet plans for him were hardly any food. And he's like, I can't survive on 4 ounces of chicken for lunch. There's no way. But, you know, making sure that you have that fat with it and a vegetable with it. And a lot of times for him, it was 2 or 3 vegetables at once. It kind of, it gave him what he needed. And really getting away from eating any processed food. That's the other big thing that I think I've learned the most, at how much those little suckers, you think that they're great and maybe they're low fat or maybe they're sugar free or whatever, but they just don't last. The protein bars I used to buy all the time at the store and spend mega bucks on, as soon as I ate one, I swear I was hungry. So it didn't really help me, and it costs so doggone much. You'll see a lot of the recipes on here that we shared last week. Ashley's chicken is one of my favorites because it's easy and quick little like ingredients to just toss over the top and grill. The pepper casserole, my family's not very fond of because they don't like pepper, so I don't do that one very often. But I did make the pulled pork last week. And then my go-to is this turkey lettuce bowl that's down here on Wednesday, Saturday. The turkey lettuce wraps that I shared, I kind of turned that into a sloppy Joe recipe and took out the water and made it a little bit thicker with just the tomato sauce. And then we put it on sandwich slices, or I'll put it on salad or whatever and add some cheese. And it's delish. And my family loves that. So I've been cooking that for them forever. But that kind of gives you an idea.
But the basis of all of this, Stacy, is calories, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of look at it that way, but it's really about the containers. So each container is a certain measurement. So instead of counting calories, you're filling your containers with a specific amount of each one of those items. So like, for instance, a fruit would be considered a purple container, and it is a cup. It's equivalent to a cup. So every time you have a fruit, you get a cup of fruit. So instead of counting those calories, you're just making sure you have a cup of fruit.
Okay.
The same with the vegetables. And we have a cheat sheet, which I know, Katie, you do have that available that you could kind of pop that up, because I know we've used it before in some of our groups. But it
Let me
tells
find
what the
it.
containers are equivalent to. So like the vegetables and the fruits are both a cup. The yellow, which is the starch, your breads and starches, are half a cup. Isn't the blue a fourth a cup?
It's a third.
Third a cup. And then the orange is 2 tablespoons, which, right? I think it's 2 tablespoons. I think I looked that up. 2 tablespoons. What, am I missing a color? Oh, red.
It's
Red
3/4.
is 3/4.
Yeah. I'll post it in the group.
Yeah. So
That way
it's
everybody can see it.
kind of nice, because I have those containers. I use them all the time to measure out all my stuff, because as soon as I try to start eyeballing things like peanut butter or almonds, some of those things that you don't get as much of, and you think, oh, this is healthy, but then you end up overdoing it. Or an apple, you can have a whole apple, but it's really a small apple, and most apples are not small. And bananas, you're really only supposed to have half a banana as a serving. So you kind of learn some tricks to kind of maneuver around some of that so that you can have what you want.
Yeah.
But it is really nice not to have to count calories. I know that. So once you kind of figure out your bracket, and if you want to, JJ, or anybody else in the group would like to, Katie and I can kind of give you a template with some ideas of how to structure your stuff and maybe some things to think about eating. But even if you get into any of the programs with Beachbody On Demand, they have a material section. And in that, they have a section that goes into those brackets. And then they always have examples of things that you can eat through those brackets. So I know like the last few have all been focused on the basic ultimate 21-day fix containers, and there's not anything really different about them. I guess I haven't looked at bar, but I assume it's about the same.
No, it's about the same, yeah.
But that's kind of an idea. So Katie and I have actually helped people from the very beginning, starting with the Beachbody Challenge Pack. And that comes with, there's several different programs you can actually do, but there is one called Ultimate Fix that comes with the containers, the nutrition booklet. It gives you some recipes, gives you me as your coach, Shakeology as a monthly thing, and then Beachbody On Demand for an entire year. And then there's all different other programs. Like if you do 10 rounds, for instance, that comes with, instead of the containers, it comes with equipment. So some of them actually do equipment instead of the containers. I think all of them do equipment now, except for Ultimate. And then there's just a Beachbody On Demand, which is the streaming access, but then you can get Shakeology added on to that as well. Yeah. And then the Shakeology ends up being like a monthly payment that you pay for. But then no matter what, when you quit, that Beachbody On Demand is an annual fee. So it's really what, 99? Well, I guess you can split it. You can do a month,
3 month or a year.
Right. I was thinking, is there a 6 month? No.
I don't know that there is anymore.
I don't think there is either. And so the whole year is $99 for the whole year if you just do Beachbody On Demand. But it gives you every program that Beachbody has released, as well as soon as some of the newer ones drop in, those go in. Like Bar just dropped, and 10 rounds will come in October. And then there's a new one coming out that I think is going to be maybe in December or January when it finally drops into Beachbody On Demand.
Okay,
But
well, I have a question. Is that okay?
yes,
Mhm.
please.
Tell me for a newbie jumping into one of those programs, I'm scared to death, right? I'm, if I jump into, Shiloh says she likes size. So, but jumping into something like that as a brand person who has been doing zero, I'm scared.
Yeah. So we have done a lot of them, and we can make great suggestions. Like seriously, every time a new one comes out, Katie and I are like, we're not going to buy that sucker. And then we
buy it.
So we've done them all, and we can tell you which ones are more athletic versus dance. Like Shiloh likes the dance one, and she's so good at it. Size is her favorite. She busts it out, I think you got ahead of me in steps today. So she gets all her steps in and she has fun, and it's just fun. But if you're not like a hip hop pop, have trouble following that, that's not Katie. She'd be like, nope, not doing that. She likes more lifting, right?
Yep.
Am I right? She likes more lifting programs. So she knows which ones would be best fitted for that. I like very well-rounded, like works the whole body. Bar has definitely not been my favorite, although I'm getting to I like it more and more and what it's doing for my body, because it's just really like there's no weight. It's using your body, and you just it's like, I keep thinking old school, like fitness videos with Richard Simmons and Jane Fonda. I think about that a lot. Like you're pointing your toes and you're kicking your foot, and sometimes you're doing that old like, hey. So, and she's always like, smile because it hurts less, and I'm like, shut up. So
well, so one thing on all of them, there's a person who sucks at everything and is called the modifier.
yes.
Okay.
And on some of them, there's multiple modifiers. There's like a really, I don't know what I'm doing and all my parts hurt modifier. And then there's like a middle of the road modifier. And like on bar, they have this person who's like a professional ballerina who's making you feel miserable. No one's doing what she's doing. But so they have them leveled.
Yes.
And on the newer ones, you can have just the modifier person on the screen if that's all you want.
Okay.
And you don't have to watch the really skilled people.
That's
the big thing with all of them is just trying them and modifying what you need to modify. Like if your knee hurts, then obviously you don't do that move. But they usually say, hey, if this is bothering you, then try this. Or maybe you don't go down as far. But it doesn't mean that that's not the right one for you. A lot of our newbie people take and do 21-day fix. It's a very basic overview. It's a 21-day workout every day. I think the new one is every day. There's a real-time one now. And it's not easy, but they do have modifier on there. You're not lifting any weight on the first one. I don't think there's minimal jumping, right, Shiloh? I don't think you do any jumping. But
This team has all the jumping.
There's all different. There's a yoga. There's a whole section of studio on yoga. There's country heat, which is dancing with a little bit of a country flair, which was fun. I really liked it. Again, it was like we weren't lifting weights, and I felt like, wow, I'm not getting enough out of this. But it actually was great. Like I looked forward to getting up and doing it every day.
Yeah.
Which is the key.
Are they all about 30 minutes or?
Depends. Some of the more extreme lifting ones especially are looking at anywhere from 30 to sometimes a full hour.
Okay.
80-day fit or 80-day obsession, you were doing some that were hour, and a couple of them she kind of went over that. A lot of Joel's are 40 to 45.
Yeah.
Most of like 21-day and size, well, I guess size actually has some 40 and 62, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are quite a few of just 30-minute ones, because I think they were getting feedback from a lot of customers that that's what they wanted. They wanted
Right.
quick stuff. There's even one that's 22 minutes. It's
Sean,
harder than snot, but it's
yeah.
I
yeah.
saw that one on the website and I was like, yeah, that's gonna kill you.
yeah, it was tough.
Sean T had the Transform 20 that were 20
Yes.
minutes.
That's right. It was 20 minutes.
25. Those are all 25 minutes, and it's also
They are very hard.
Is that
they're
the
harder.
step one? Is that the step one?
Transform 20 was
Yes.
a step, yeah.
Which I was
But
so
I think
excited
on
because I did step.
on the Apple TV app, I think you can sort by how long the workout is. So like you can go in and say, I only want 30-minute ones, and it'll show you everything that's in that 30-minute. They kind of lie because they'll count the things that are like 35 minutes in the 30 minutes. But
Morning Meltdown, most of those were 30 minutes.
yeah,
They
they were
were.
30, 35 minutes.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I really liked that program.
I did too. I did too. And it really does have a variety of different ones there. Like, and like she
can't
does
do
some
100 days of the
she
same
does some
thing.
major jumping and
I
stuff
hate
on,
that part too.
and you just say, no, I can't do that. You stay up and do a squat instead or whatever.
Right.
There's also like, you can just do a random one every day. What was that called?
Oh shoot.
It has a name where it'll just put up several for the week, and they kind of have a focus. Like Monday might be overall cardio, and then Tuesday might be some kind of arm workout and a leg workout, and it kind of gives you a chance to sample all the different ones. But JJ, there's some back from the olden days on there. There's some with Kathy whatchamabucket that I used to do back in the old days. She's on there. There's some
Even some of the Sean T ones, like
Sean
hip
T.
hop.
That are really old.
That's what I was thinking. So
Yeah.
there, you'll laugh. And there's a dance
The
one
little
where
dude,
this
the
Latin-
dance one, with the Latin guy.
UV2.
Yes.
And he has Brazilian butt too or something. And he
Yes.
is so funny. He's like, oh, come to me, darling. Oh, yes. And everybody everybody on there smiles like they're having just the best old time, no matter what.
UV2
But
is definitely one that makes you feel good about yourself because
there's so many variety. Yeah. So I've done some that have been like, no way will I do this one again because it was too hard, and I have to remember how old I am, and I'm not a young little spring chicken anymore. But I never quit a program. So I finish it no matter what. And then if I like it, I repeat it. And if I don't, I move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But it depends on where your happiness is. Because I love anything with boxing. Those have been my big thing. And there's one now that's 10 rounds and it's all boxing.
It's good. You're gonna like it, Stacey.
My favorite. It's my favorite. Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
Okay,
Much
so,
better than bar.
I need two things from you. I need to understand why Shakeology. I watched the video, and I mean, I get all the health benefits, but if you're eating so healthy, why do you need a shake? And then secondly, I want to hear your like 2-minute pitch for why Beachbody. I know. I'm marketing, Stacey, so you know.
I have a tendency to not.
Well, I'll tell you on the
You go.
on-demand, JJ,
Okay.
you don't have to leave your house, and you don't have to put your shoes on. You don't have to do your hair. You just roll out of bed and whatever the hell you want to, and you do your workout.
Okay,
all of us-
so I can spend $100 on that for a year. So
Yep.
I get that piece of it. So why do the whole Beachbody
The
thing?
whole program. Okay. So I have struggled with my weight my whole life, and I've done every type of program, weight loss, Weight Watchers, Nutrisysm. I liked that this was all one big package. Everything was involved with it. So by doing the challenge pack, it opened up not only Beachbody on demand, but a coach to really help me focus in on my goals, the containers to help me follow what I'm eating every day, and then the Shakeology. I do eat healthy, but I do think that I need that extra, those nutrients and some of those things that we miss out on our food. Those antioxidants, all those things they talked about in the video that keep me healthy. So I hardly ever get sick anymore. My energy level's better. and it makes me not want to have those snacks. So if I'm like, I really want ice cream, I'm going to show you a recipe this week where you can take the Shakeology and make ice cream out of it. And it's the best thing, and I don't have to feel guilty about that. So I have such a sweet tooth that it satisfies that. It also, wherever I put it, especially during school, it gave me that pickup. So I usually had mine during my plan time. I would go get my ice and make my shake at school. And I had a little tiny blender at school that I would blend it up and have my shake. And it just kind of gave me that time to relax. It gave me something to pep me up. I felt good. I was having my chocolate, or I was having my strawberry or whatever. And I play with the recipes. I never get bored. I can make cake out of it. I can make pudding out of it. There are Reese's peanut butter cups you can make. Health little bars. I told you I wouldn't be longer than 2 minutes. But I have never stuck with a protein shake my entire life because they tasted chalky and they kind of gagged me, and I wasn't able to take them places easily. And this one travels well. I can have it anywhere. I can make it many different ways. And it had so many health benefits. When I go to get my checkups every year, my levels are fabulous. They keep telling me that, wow, these are awesome. Like everything, your blood looks well, like everything's the best it's been in a long time. And it's been that way for the last 4 years. Okay. Hopefully that was a good pitch.
That was a good pitch.
But, and I honestly, I still to this day use my containers. I measure with them. I take them with me on trips. And I know some of it I kind of can eyeball now, but I still think it's important for me to really measure them out. And when we go on vacation, there's times I go off and I'm like, hey, I'm going to have fun, but I'll tell you what, I never skip my Shakeology. If I eat unhealthy for the whole time I'm on vacation, I still have my shake every single day because I know that that helps give my body those things that I need to keep healthy. And if I don't have it, I get sick from eating unhealthy food. So it kind of keeps my body digestion's working right. You know, you're pooping regular, which it really does for you for sure. But I mean, there's just so many great benefits that I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And when it breaks down the cost, when I was spending all that money on protein bars, I did a lot of protein bars. I was buying, my husband is going and spending like a buco amount of money on buying those for me so that I had that for my snack in the afternoon. This was actually cheaper and our grocery bill went down, except now we eat so much produce that our grocery bill has gone back up.
Right.
Because we spend all our time in that vegetable and fruit section. But that's something that we've done, you know, over the last few years. But I love what it does for me.
Katie and Shiloh, anything to add?
Okay. Hey, Stace, I gotta go.
Okay, quickly, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you hit it all.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, Katie.
Bye.
Bye, Shiloh.
Well, I will tell you that I was one of Stacy's first people. And I will be 100% honest, when I was 100% full force, followed the plan, worked out every day, it was the most I've ever lost ever in a program. And I lost overall, I lost about 65 pounds.
Wow.
Then I was stupid and hurt myself trying to do something that I realized that I'm not a young chicken anymore. And so working out became, then as hard as you work to lose it, it's like that for it to come back on.
Yeah.
And so I'm back up higher than I want to be. And so I'm really trying hard to get that back off again. But I just have to realize that I have to do what's best for me. And these support groups are what help me pretty much more than anything. And you'll notice that I'm probably one of the first ones every day to post, just because I need that accountability. I need to know that somebody's out there, and maybe you guys don't even notice whether I post or not, but
I noticed. Yeah.
I know that somebody's out there is expecting me to post, and it's Stacy, I know. And so I'm like, okay, I got to get up and do it because I said I would, and that's just it. And that's one of the things that I've gotten most out of this is these challenge groups, because I need that accountability. I need to know that somebody out there is watching and is like, did you do what you're supposed to do today? So that's what I've gotten out of it.
Okay, so I guess that's the other question then, Stacy. As a coach, then what role do you play?
So I do these groups we were doing them every month, but obviously with the schedule that Katie and I have with school, that's a lot. So we've slowed down and not had them as much. We try to do one about every season-ish. But then I also just comment to my people all the time. Like Shiloh sends me Snapchats about every day that says I've worked out. And if I see that she hasn't, or like she'll say, it's a happy Friday. And I'm like, you didn't work out today. And she's like, I know, I'm going to do it when I get home. But I message people. They message me if they need something. If they're like, hey, what kind of program should I do? I give them that information. I let them know anything that's coming down the pike that's new. Like they have a new flavor coming out right now, just kind of a seasonal thing. And so we're going to get the three of us and kind of just try it out and see if we like it. So I do stuff like that. I also have a page that I comment on every day. Like I show that I worked out, or I put recipes on a regular basis. And then my people come in there and sometimes comment back like, I need this recipe, or how can you help me with this? Or what do you think of this program? So I share that as much as possible. So it depends on how much support you need, but I give out as much as everybody wants.
Gotcha. Cool. So, okay, last one. Are you ready?
Yep.
Ashley wanted me to do this a year and a half ago. Will she be mad if I do it with you?
She won't be mad because I'm actually under her, so she'll still get the benefits of that. And she still helps me with my stuff. So if I have trouble with things, she's helped me out. So sometimes she does groups, and you are welcome. Like if I don't have a group going on, sometimes she has one going, and then my people join her.
Yeah.
So I don't think she'd be mad, but if you want me to check on that, I definitely will.
No, I was joking actually.
But I know, and it honestly is as your connections to people, it really is, because I had another customer that was with me for a while and then she quit. And then now she's with Ashley. She signed on with Ashley, but that's because she sees her every day practically, because their kids do dance together. So they had that connection where I was losing her because I wasn't seeing her all the time. Gotcha. So, you have to do what's best for you. And I'm not going to lie. I am majorly into teaching. I took on 1 million hats this year, and that is still my one passion. That is number one dog.
Well, but that's why I identify with you, Stacy.
Well, thank you. But
I'm the same way. So
I just, it's so this is my other love, is health and giving people and helping people. That's why I'm always willing to, like, we do groups all the time, and we never say, oh, you have to be a Beachbody customer to be in here. Yeah. Because we just don't feel like that's beneficial to all those people. So we share stuff, and if people want it, they can have it and, join us. If not, at least they get benefits from being in our group and seeing some of our cool recipes and fitnesses that we're doing. So.
Yeah.
And I would never want, when I started with Stacy, we were both under Ashley, and we did all of Ashley's groups. And Ashley's style was not good for me because I felt just 100% pressure all the time, cramming it down my throat, that you had to live, eat, breathe, and drink this. And that didn't work for me. And I just kind of got overwhelmed. And that's why I kind of I do Stacy and Katie's groups, because yes, they're teaching you what you need to know, but they're not force feeding it down your throat either. That,
Yeah.
If you want to do if you just want to walk every day and that's what you need to do for your fitness level, they're supportive of that. So that's what I liked about this Stacy and Katie's coaching style.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Sorry if it's
Yes, I
too
love
loud.
Stacy.
The winds just come up. There's a here. Let me show you. I'm on the west side of town.
Yeah.
And
it's a little dark out all of a
it's
sudden.
just oops, there it is. It just
Wow.
popped up. I mean, and all of a sudden the winds are coming up, and it's like, so I'm sitting on my patio, and all of a sudden this is happening, and I'm like, whoa.
Sorry,
So,
I was gonna go
yeah.
walk Cindy Lou. I may not. Now I'm gonna have to get my
I
steps
was gonna
walking
go
around
for
the
a
house.
walk too, but whew, this has come up crazy fast.
Yeah,
Sorry about
it's
that.
not. It's not over here at all.
Yeah. No,
It's
I like I said,
dark
I'm in
here.
Colbert, and yeah, I could just feel the wind change, and I'm already getting sprinkles. So I'm
Holy
gonna get
cow.
done.
Well, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. That's it. Katie was going to talk about the points so far, but everybody's doing great. And there's going to be plenty of prizes this time because I've been having fun picking up stuff. So,
Cool. Well, thank
all right,
you.
you guys have a good week.
Take
Keep
care.
those
Bye-bye.
things focused. Thank you. Bye.